Okay, if you live in a new build house, please stay. Or if you know anything about new build houses, please stay. Let me show you.
If you're looking into Dr. Horton, just don't. Don't buy Dr. Horton and move on.
I didn't want to take this to TikTok, but I feel like I have no other option. I'm just at the end of my rope.
Everyone wants a new construction home, but if you're not careful, you'll end up like the homeowners we see today with unlivable, worthless homes. So this first clip is heartbreaking. No family deserves to go through this, especially in a brand new home.
I have been poisoned by my house. My story is so crazy. Everything I've experienced with this new build. But if I could share something with you, is that watch the process of your new build and check your AC by your AC guy, not theirs. My house has mold in it. I am so sick here. I'm stuck in this house. I have almost a 9% interest rate, and $3,000 of my mortgage goes to interest every month. My house, they forgot to put the vapor wrap or barrier wrap in it. My AC was installed wrong. Oversized unit with exposed holes everywhere. My whole house was built with moldy lumber.
This woman is dealing with mold in a brand new home, but how does that even happen? So when you think of a new construction home, mold is probably the last thing that you would expect because it's brand new. But if something wasn't sealed properly, like the roof, the windows, or the plumbing, moisture can get in and that's all that mold needs to grow. She suggested having your own professionals inspect the house, and I agree with her 100%. Always hire your own inspector before closing because they're working for you and not the builder. So for those of you who have purchased homes before, did you get a private inspection done before buying your home? And if you can remember, what did they find? She also mentioned having a nearly 9% interest rate, which is honestly really high and really unusual unless there's a specific issue she has, or maybe it's some sort of unconventional loan. And if $3,000 of her payment is going towards interest, that suggests she has a pretty expensive loan. And it makes me wonder if she bought more home than she could truly afford. Have you ever fell in love with the house until you saw the monthly payment that you'd have to pay, even if you got approved? She honestly doesn't look well in this video overall, and it's very concerning if there are kids in the home. I think I heard a child in the background. Mold exposure has a lot of potential health risks. People assume that buying new means that there's fewer problems, but unfortunately, that's not always the case. Corners can be cut, and at the end of the day, the buyers are going to be left to deal with the fallout. So if you thought that was bad, it gets worse.
Every night, I sleep on my couch. These are my couches. I'm sick of it. I can't sleep in any of the rooms because I can't breathe. My throat hurts every day. I have the most insane symptoms every day from the mold exposure. I find myself getting off the couch to go outside to get fresh air because I can't breathe the air in here anymore. I get to a point where I can't handle it. I would have never thought this would be me. It could be anybody. It's actually really common with a lot of these new builds. They just throw them up so quick and they do such a crappy job installing the AC. I mean, you're doomed if your AC is oversized for your space because mold will start to grow in your house. Needless to say, through this whole horrible experience, the builders have tried to cover it all up, remediating and covering it up. We found the mold again today, and I'm suing my builders.
My heart truly goes out to her. I can't imagine how stressful it must be to feel unsafe in your own home. It's supposed to be your dream home and a great accomplishment. She's sleeping in the living room because of the mold. And the first thing that comes to my mind is just leave and stay somewhere else until the issue is resolved. But the truth is, that's not always possible. Moving costs money, and not everyone necessarily has another place to go. It seems like these homes are being thrown up quickly to meet demand, and some builders either miss major issues or even worse, cover them up instead of fixing them. And we're going to see that as we go on. And that's honestly very dangerous. I think we can all agree on that. I'm glad to hear she's taking legal action now. In my opinion, she shouldn't have to fight for basic health and safety in a home that she just bought. But I want to hear from you. Have you ever had to take legal action against a landlord or against a builder if you purchase a new construction home? How did everything go? Let me know in the comments. So imagine if your parents bought a brand new home and it started falling apart just months later. That's exactly what happened here.
My parents ended up purchasing a beautiful home, brand new as well. A couple of months later, the house starts falling apart. The walls are cracking, even this. The tile also starts cracking. Just a big mess. My mom decorated the house beautiful. Sadly, she had to take it all down and put it in her storage room. The house is under construction now. And it's just very frustrating because when you buy a brand new home, you want to enjoy it. But they can't. This door is even crooked. Look. My parents can't even cook in their homes right now. They can't even sleep because of all the dust going on. Big mess, big mess. And they don't even show up at the time they say they will, or sometimes they don't even show up at all. Worst home purchased ever.
So I'm convinced that some of these builders are putting homes together like they're Legos with a little glue to hold it all together, because this does not make any sense. I mean, they can't even cook in their own kitchen. And what's worse is that the builder handed over the keys knowing the home wasn't built correctly. And that honestly tells you where their priorities are, if you ask me. When you're buying new constructions, you can't just show up to the final walkthrough and hope for the best. You need to be involved throughout the entire process. Bring your own professionals to inspect the work every step of the way. Do you think builders are rushing building these homes just to meet their quotas? Comment below and let me know your thoughts. If you've ever thought builders just throw up houses and hope for the best, pay close attention to this next clip.
Man, I didn't want to take this to TikTok, but I feel like I have no other option. I'm just at the end of my rope. 2 years ago, we bought what we thought was our dream home with Oakwood Homes in Colorado. And it has been nothing but a nightmare. We have had multiple major issues with our home. We're talking major plumbing leaks, mold, like flooring popping up, the subflooring is uneven. Our garage has flooded. The room I'm in has flooded. It was full of mold. It took them months to fix that. Anyways, our most recent issue, and the other ones, all of them haven't been fixed. Our flooring is still popping up downstairs, and we're paying $3,400 a month for this house. And it's falling apart. And they won't do anything about it. Well, our 2-year-old air conditioning unit went out a couple months ago. And so we got it serviced. I had people come out and fix it. It's only 2 years old. It's a brand new house. Well, there was insulation all up in our furnace. And the only way that could have happened is if, when the house was being built, they were negligent, insulation got in the furnace.
I honestly think the folks working for this builder closed their eyes and just threw the house together. That's how careless some of this work seems. It's been 2 years and this woman's been dealing with plumbing leaks, mold, uneven floors, and a garage that flooded. That tells you exactly where the builder's priorities are. Have you ever dealt with a shady contractor or a shady builder? I would love to hear your experience if that's been you. Feel free to leave it in the comments. I wish there was a happy ending to her story, but unfortunately, there's not. Let's hear what her plan is.
So there's insulation all up in our furnace, which is a fire hazard. We have 2 young children. It could quite literally catch our home on fire when we turn the heat on. We're in Colorado. Anyways, Oakwood Homes and their warranty company, Shazam, did what they do and say, oh yeah, we'll take care of it. And of course they're not. And now they're refusing, and we're going to have to use what money we have left to sue them, like our neighbors are having to do. This is not an isolated incident. Our neighbors are dealing with issues, some of them even worse than us, and they're not being addressed, and they've had to go the legal route. Unfortunately for us, the economy has put our family in a really spot the last couple years, and we didn't really want to shell out our savings account and our emergency money to fight our home builder in court, but now we don't have an option. We want to sell our home and move, but we can't because it needs to be fixed to sell it to move, and they will not fix it. We're supposed to be under a warranty. Okay. Anyways, sorry I'm so emotional, but I just got off the phone with one of the building managers who has been telling us for months that everything was going to be fixed, and he just hung up on me. because I was crying on the phone. So, anyways, Oakwood Homes, don't buy from them. Actually, any new home, just don't buy it. Just buy an older home. I will never, mark my words, never will I live in a new construction home again in my life. Ever. I'm done.
I mean, what's the point of a warranty if they're not going to fix anything? At the end of the day, that's supposed to be your safety net, especially with a new construction home. I personally wouldn't be surprised if they're dragging this out until the warranty expires. And she might end up spending everything fighting this case and still end up with nothing. And to hang up on someone while they're crying, that tells you everything you need to know about how much they care. So if you've ever had a new construction home with a warranty, or just bought your home with a warranty and you had to use it, did they actually follow through? Did you actually get what was promised under that warranty? I'm curious to hear your thoughts. If you don't get an inspection on any home you buy, including new construction, listen to me very closely, you will regret it. Let's learn why. But first, I need you to hit that like and subscribe button. If you want to get better at real estate investing, you got to make sure you're following this channel.
This is a nightmare house.
New construction that started falling apart within a few months.
And the problem continues.
Windows that bowed out. Walls that leaked with rain or snow.
We could smell the gas.
An oven tagged as
An explosion hazard.
then this. Water the last place it should be.
This was a significant volume of water.
And finally, the structure of the building itself, discovered by a city engineering review.
The beam over the garage door, high enough to withstand a wind shear event or a high wind event. I can't use my garage. I can't use my shower. I can't use one of the light fixtures. I can't use my oven.
The builder, Sustainable Design Build, didn't return our emails asking for comment.
But the question I have is, are people who are buying these new builds actually getting their own independent inspections, or are they just showing up for the final walkthrough and assuming everything has been done as it should be? Let me know what you think they're doing in the comments. What we've proven over and over again in these clips is that you can't solely rely on the builder to catch everything. Even when they're acting in good faith, and some clearly aren't, you have to protect yourself. Let me know if you agree with that. Is there any circumstance where you don't need an inspector? If you thought things couldn't get any more careless, just wait until you see this next house. As a reminder, make sure you stay until the end because I have a special announcement that you're going to want to hear.
Okay, if you live in a new build house, please stay. Or if you know anything about new build houses, please stay. Let me show you. Well, just for a little bit of context, we've lived in this house for 3 years, almost 3 years now. It was a brand new build when we moved in, so we are the first owners of this house. It was a pretty penny, okay? It was a pretty penny. Okay, can someone explain to me why there are cracks happening in our home? Look at all that. Okay, this is at the top of our stairwell. You can see that big long crack right there. Okay, we have screws like protruding out of our walls. They're starting to come out. This was not picked, it's just the drywall is just falling off. Here is another example of a crack, I guess, forming at the top of our stairs. This is in my daughter's room. We have screws coming out from, this is her ceiling. We have windows. This is my daughter's room again. Window like cracks in here. Looks like it's like coming basically undone. Okay, that is just a fraction of everything that's going on around our house. Can somebody please explain this to me? We are pretty much SOL because we're out of our 1-year warranty and they're not going to do anything about it. Like, is this normal for new built homes? Like, am I crazy for being pissed? Am I overreacting for being pissed? Because, like I said, this house was not cheap. This was a fairly expensive home that my fiance worked very hard to put us into, and we are now almost on year 3 of living here, and this is what it looks like. So please share this with somebody that you know. Comment to somebody that you think might know what's going on with our house. Like, what can we do because this is actually insane.
When they built this house, it must have been a contest to see who could leave the most cracks behind them. And to answer her question, none of the things she mentioned should be happening. And the lack of attention to detail is just mind-blowing to me. I don't think she's overreacting, but I do wonder if she had her own inspector check things out before moving in, or if a lot of these issues came up after she already moved in. So whose fault do you think it is in this case? Is it the builder? Is it the inspector? Or is it someone else? If you've ever thought builders will say whatever it takes to silence you, this next clip is going to show you that you're not wrong.
I bought a new construction home, and here are some of the issues within the first few months of living here that we've been dealing with. Here's our master bedroom, and we experienced a leak during the rainy season with water intrusion coming from the top and the bottom of the window. We notified the seller, and they said it was the roof cap and they had fixed the problem. We said we need to remove the drywall to make sure that there's no mold in the drywall and there's no mold in our master bedroom. He told us that mold doesn't grow on wood, but we still insisted that we remove the drywall, and of course there was mold in the bedroom. The leak, in fact, wasn't fixed, and it's been like pulling teeth to understand what the actual issue is. So we are still in the discovery phase of where the water intrusion is coming from 8 months down the line. During this discovery, we also found that our deck wasn't properly flashed. And then some other things that we've been dealing with along the way is exterior stucco cracking along the side of our house, as well as rusted vents going into the basement where water intrusion is going from the exterior to the interior of our basement. And then here's some more stucco cracking along the exterior of our home. This is new stucco, so they actually removed old stucco because it had cracked and re-stuccoed it. And then this had happened within 1 to 2 months after the new stucco job. And just showing some more vents that have been rusted from water intrusion. And then here is another shot of exterior stucco cracking from the window going to our electrical panel. So this is more stucco cracking. And on the other side of this is our garage. And you can actually see where we had water intrusion from that area.
I'm sure the builder told them mold doesn't grow on wood, hoping they wouldn't push back and they would just accept it and believe him. And the fact that the issue still isn't resolved 8 months later is very concerning. Putting up new stucco just to have it crack again feels like one of those moments where you're laughing to keep from crying. And I'm honestly shocked that she's keeping her composure so well, because this is crazy. If you've ever thought or suspected that customer service is a problem for some builders, the next clip is going to prove you right.
Hi. This is a little PSA for anyone who wants to buy a home. If you're looking into Dr. Horton, just don't buy Dr. Horton and move on. Here's why. I have had so many issues with the home, like things that never should have been an issue that they did wrong from the beginning, and they don't want to fix their mess. They will not respond to you. It takes months and months of reaching out for someone to even respond to a text message, an email, a phone call, anything. Not just me that has had these problems. I've talked to other people in the neighborhood, my neighbors, they have had these same issues, and I've been reading stuff online, seeing videos. Dr. Horton is just, I don't know why they're the #1 builder in America, because they suck. Let's be honest. I love my house, I really do. But it's not built correctly for a new home. Like, I don't understand how this passed inspection. I don't know what money is going into what people's pockets, but it was not done right. I've had to fix Here, I'm just gonna tell you the things that I had to fix. So the biggest problem that I'm dealing with right now is that my yard is flooding. They never graded it correctly. The water, every single time it rains, not even in the summer, like today, it's spring, I have a big rain, I will have standing water in my yard for multiple days, close to the house. I've been reaching out to the superintendent and the builders to come like look at it so that they can fix it. They put down stakes and they did some measuring and they said everything's fine. I'm like, every single person that comes to my house is like, what the hell, like this is not done appropriately. And you can see the flooding. You can sit in the backyard and see that the yard is not graded appropriately. I don't understand how they think that that's okay, because the next hurricane that comes, guess what? It's coming to my house.
Now, water pooling near the home is a big issue. It can damage the foundation and could lead to some major repairs down the road. These builders either need to hire more customer service reps, or how about this, actually start caring about solving people's problems. Now, we've seen some crazy stuff so far in this video, and I want to hear from you. Why do you think so many new construction homes are having these kinds of issues? Let me know in the comments. Reputation means everything in business, but based on what we've seen so far in this video, some builders just don't care. Let's take a closer look.
I have to now go with an outside company and pay thousands of dollars to get a problem fixed that was done incorrectly from the beginning. And I'm not the only person on my street to have had this exact same problem. I've also had multiple grading companies come out and like take a look and do measurements and give me an estimate of what it would take for them to fix it. And they've all identified the problem, given me a quote, explained to me what they would do and how they would fix it. But guess what? Every single one of those grading companies said to me, they said, oh, you have a Dr. Horton home? We know exactly what the problem is. I'm like, before I even explained to them what the problem was in my yard, they go, we deal with so many Dr. Horton properties. If companies know that they have to come in after Dr. Horton builds a home and fix things that Dr. Horton did not do appropriately, that's how you know it's bad.
Dr. Horton clearly has a reputation, and when multiple companies immediately say they fixed homes from the same builder for the same problems, that says a lot. And to be honest, Dr. Horton might be keeping these local companies in business with all the follow-up repairs they're creating. In the rest of the clip, she talks about more issues and says that she would never buy from Dr. Horton again. And after the experience she had, I don't blame her one bit. So if there was a builder in your area who had this kind of reputation, would you consider buying a home from them? Let's say they had a ton of incentives that made it more affordable than an older home in your area. What would you do? Let me know in the comments. All right, so after all that, we finally get a clip that's a little bit less intense. So let's take a breather and talk about some basic cosmetic stuff.
All right, so here are 4 things that I hate about my home and just new construction homes in general. Number 1, cheap paint. Builders normally use flat paint whenever they build new construction homes or they're building homes in mass. Flat paint just stains up the wall really easily. The oils from my hands transfer easily. Instead, go for a eggshell or a satin. Satin is very durable and it's easy to wipe. Number 2, kitchens with no backsplash. Instead, opt to put in a nice tile. And for those of you that might be afraid to try, they also have peel and stick options. 3 are wire racks. Wire racks in the closet don't give you any type of space for your folded things or anything like that. It's literally just a rack going across. So what you want to do is get you some shelving that extends from top to bottom to maximize the space and that has all the compartments for all of your things. And the very last one is ugly lighting. Spend a little bit of money, go on Amazon, get you something that is a little more elevated and it will just change the look of your space altogether.
Now, this was probably the most refreshing clip that we've seen today. And finally, just some minor cosmetic complaints instead of some major structural issues. And some of her critiques were actually things that I personally hadn't thought about, and I thought they were smart. And the changes that she suggested seem pretty affordable. But I'm curious, have you ever noticed something small in your home that you wish you changed right away? All right, everyone, we can breathe now. And we went over quite a lot in that video, and I'll summarize it by saying, I will never tell you not to buy a new construction home. That's a personal choice. What I will say is you need to do your homework on the builder, be hands-on in the process, and get an inspection. If you do those things among others, I think you'll be okay. Now for the announcement. So I'm getting ready to launch a new community called Keys Within Reach, and it's built for first-time homebuyers who feel overwhelmed and just want a clear step-by-step path to owning a home. Before the launch, I'm inviting 5 people to join early as part of a private test group. You'll get 90 days of free access at no cost, and all I ask is that you explore it, you check it out, and you give me honest feedback so I can make it even better for the official launch. So if this sounds like something that you benefit from or be interested in, there is a link in the description. You can sign up to be considered, and if you're selected, there might be an additional bonus waiting for you too. So now that you know about new construction nightmares, I want you to learn about skyrocketing HOA fees that you should avoid. Check out this video right here.